The Chinese Economic Revolution. The Chinese Economic Revolution refers to the reforms that took place in China starting in the late 1970s and early 1980s, aimed at transforming China's planned economy into a market-oriented one. The reforms were implemented by the Chinese government and were led by Deng Xiaoping, who was the paramount leader of China at the time. The main goals of the reforms were to improve living standards, modernize the economy, and increase competitiveness. To achieve these goals, the government implemented several key reforms, including the establishment of special economic zones, decentralization of economic decision-making, encouragement of private enterprise and competition, improvement of state-owned enterprise efficiency, and liberalization of foreign trade and investment. The reforms have had a significant impact on the Chinese economy, resulting in rapid economic growth, poverty reduction, increased competitiveness, and integration with the global economy. However, the reforms have also faced several challenges, including income inequality, social tensions, environmental degradation, and corruption. The Chinese government has implemented a number of policies to address these challenges, including increasing spending on social welfare programs, improving transparency and accountability of state-owned enterprises, and introducing environmental regulations. The Chinese Economic Revolution took place within a larger historical and cultural context, including the events and policies that preceded it, as well as the larger historical and cultural context in which it took place. Understanding these contextual factors is important for understanding the motivations behind the reforms and the challenges that have arisen during their implementation. Some of the main topics that are often discussed in relation to the Chinese Economic Revolution include 1. Causes of the revolution, including the need to improve living standards, modernize the economy, and increase competitiveness. The Chinese Economic Revolution was driven by several key factors that came together in the late 1970s. These included: A. The need to improve living standards. China had been facing economic stagnation for several decades, with low economic growth, a shortage of consumer goods, and widespread poverty. The Chinese people were looking for ways to improve their standard of living and escape poverty. B. The desire to modernize the economy. The Chinese economy was in need of modernization, as it was not keeping pace with the rapid economic growth being experienced by other Asian countries such as Japan and South Korea. The government recognized the need to modernize the economy in order to compete with these countries and improve the lives of the Chinese people. C. The need to increase competitiveness. The global economy was becoming increasingly competitive, and China was facing growing competition from other Asian countries. The government recognized the need to make the Chinese economy more competitive in order to maintain its place in the world and to improve the lives of its citizens. In response to these challenges, the Chinese government, under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping, launched a series of reforms aimed at transforming the economy and improving living standards. The reforms were part of a larger policy called Reform and Opening Up, which aimed to create a more market-oriented economy while still maintaining state control over key industries and strategic sectors. 2. Historical context, including the events and policies that preceded the Chinese Economic Revolution, as well as the larger historical and cultural context in which it took place. The Chinese Economic Revolution took place within a larger historical and cultural context, including: A. Historical events and policies that preceded the revolution. The Chinese Economic Revolution was preceded by several events and policies that shaped the political and economic landscape of China. For example, the Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 1976, was a period of political and social upheaval that had far-reaching effects on Chinese society. The policies implemented during this period, such as the collectivization of agriculture and the closure of universities, had a negative impact on the Chinese economy. B. Cultural context. The Chinese economic revolution took place within the larger cultural context of Chinese history and tradition. For example, the Confucian philosophy of harmony has been an important part of Chinese culture and has influenced the way that the reforms have been implemented. This has included a focus on maintaining social stability and avoiding radical change. C. International context. The Chinese economic revolution took place within the larger international context of globalization. The reforms were implemented as China was becoming increasingly integrated into the global economy, and the country has continued to play an important role in the global economy as a result of the reforms. Understanding the historical and cultural context in which the Chinese economic revolution took place is important for understanding the motivations behind the reforms, as well as the challenges that have arisen during their implementation. These historical and cultural factors have shaped the way that the reforms have been implemented and have influenced their outcomes. 3. Outcomes of the revolution. Including the rapid growth of the Chinese economy, poverty reduction, increased competitiveness, and integration with the global economy. The Chinese economic revolution produced a number of significant outcomes, including a rapid growth of the Chinese economy. The Chinese economy experienced rapid growth after the introduction of economic reforms. The economy grew at an average annual rate of 9.5% from 1978 to 2018, making it one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. This growth was driven by increased investment, greater efficiency, and more market-oriented policies. B. Poverty reduction. The rapid growth of the Chinese economy helped to reduce poverty. The percentage of the population living in poverty declined from 84% in 1981 to less than 2% in 2018. This reduction in poverty was a direct result of the economic growth and improved living standards that the Chinese people experienced as a result of the reforms. C. Increased competitiveness. The Chinese economy became more competitive as a result of the reforms, as it was able to produce goods and services more efficiently and at lower cost. This increased competitiveness helped China to become a major player in the global economy, as it was able to export its goods and services to other countries. These outcomes of the Chinese economic revolution helped to transform the Chinese economy and improve the lives of its citizens. The reforms also helped to place China on a path of sustained economic growth and development, making it one of the largest and most powerful economies in the world today.